Ayan na. Yan mamaya yung katarp lang lang ama malaya kwa ni dilia kwa. Ya kayo kurta ni diak mangama na kwara ngalya. Amba akwala na iwan arid lang ya manja. Ang kapapon lang Ira kuratyo mene na yung katarpa. Ako kempra naman kerat nama iro manja. Arak prak bakiyaw ya. Iro yan mamaya. Iro waro ko men ngari perlang amda kecik meria. Iro jak namar petalaw tawara emepa alo kwanja aqua ayakwa.
Enangan mamajam kolcha enangan manfa. Mereka seperti nama, apa punya kaitnya bang, main macam sekolah apa betul ya, mampu dimar petan.
Arak pa ya, iro rukway nama ya pa, iro mutay nama, malamukuma, iro kway nama nengar pura muda kecikumiriya, apa iro rukway nama lau tawara apa emepa. Kurang kataran ada kayak nama yang kurang arak pa. Nari kuar jamena yang ketar pa. Kempra uru pukaya nalaga nama. Kemko yang kurang apa nama kuat nama ilang manja yang ketar pa. Apa nararia kamena ngala angkau ulangan.
The old people were a bit upset one day, came and bulldozer through their countries, you see, and so they were sad, saw it in their eyes, you see.
Well, I've been surprised at how well the Aborigines have handled themselves.
Groote Eylandt is Aboriginal land. It has been the company's policy to promote a strong working relationship with the Aboriginal communities on the island. Close communication and regular consultation has enabled a good working association to be maintained. Life on this small, remote and tropical island is a pleasant surprise.
I grew up here. It was a hard life. It was a hard life, but a good life. I learned the ways of the white man very quickly. Leadership, it comes with a lot of sacrifices. You've got to sacrifice yourself and your family and your time as well. And you've got to be very patient. But now we're coming up with ideas that we learning to speak up and saying that we need to take control of our lives. We need to make decisions of how to live, how to run our lives. Next, how to establish our lives. It is a revolution in kind, but for us here on the island, it's more of a quiet revolution.
The swordfish crossed the river. Stingray jumped and landed on top of where the quarry or the crush is. So the people think that the stingrays brought the manganese on Groote.
I knew about this manganese years ago because my grandfather told my father, and my father used to tell us stories. There were a lot of manganese on this island, and we knew before the surveys and all that came here. Our Gemco's been here since the 60s, so yeah, time should be getting short for them. It should be, it's about time.
We're the first people on Groote that starting up our own mine within our backyard. That's where the money is. Minimal only, you can see like, in terms of mining, it's only minimal. You're only just scraping the top and that's it. As a TL, I wanna be there when it first starts and when it finishes. I want to be the first TI carting the first load of manganese to the port.
In the Land Rights Act, outside parties come in, talk to the local people, and the local people get a small benefit out of the vast profits that are made. This is flipped. This is traditional owners actually applying to the Land Council to mine on their own land. That's the change. And I think, you know, there should be more of that. That's the future.
We welcome you to Groote Eylandt. But amongst it all, when I think about it and I acknowledge our chairperson, Tony Waramaba, many years serving, long-serving, powerful member and a voice for this community. We thank you, Tony. And for his dynamic work with our CEO, Mark Hewitt. The work has been outstanding. We acknowledge other dignitaries.
One of the really significant things that I've been hearing about is regional autonomy, which is really about communities taking control. It's really about making sure that there are better decisions made for the outcomes at a community level. That's what we want to see. So, and today is just amazing. This is the first handover of a township lease ever.
For so long we have been listening to the outside world telling us how to run our God-forsaken lives. Promises were made. Broken promises. We are making those broken promises into reality here today and onwards. It only took me 10 years to get this so far, but where that come? Well, the people have been very patient. It's been within us from the day we were born. It was never taken away from us. It's always there, but giving us that responsibility back. We just want 3 hours in the first place.
What we see a lot is outside parties pushing back from locals taking control.
Yeah.
That's the repeated behaviour, if you like, from outside parties, non-traditional owners. And in the kind of work we do, you will make enemies, no question. There'll be people trying to undermine, question, attack, push back. That's part of the task you have to deal with. But the main thing is you've got the full backing of a board, you've got the full backing and a proper plan that's been based on good consultation. You get the result, but it does take time and you will make enemies. That's life.
Yeah.
It's not a popularity contest.
Oh, it's getting very close. We've finished all the drilling and we know exactly what's here. And we're now just going to figure out how we're going to get it off the island. Yeah, you want to drive the first dirt, right?
First dirt, yeah.
Right in the middle of the resource. This dark area is where the majority of the resource is. After it's all finished, we'll have a solar farm about here. Okay, quite a big solar farm, which will bring water from this deep channel. There's deep water coming through here. And so we'll be pumping water up the top here. Is where we'll have to have a quarry to build that ramp out further.
We've got to build the infrastructure, so first thing we've got to do is build an access ramp enough so we can get it tidal. It's a good vision, and it's something that I've noticed over the years where, you know, with the land council, there's never been someone that's driven and opened the place up as much as like Mark and Tony have. Mark Hewitt's come on board as the CEO in the last 10 years, and before that I did 15 years working with corporations, managing corporations and working with the land council. I haven't seen any, prior to Mark Hewitt turning up as the CEO for the land council now, and I haven't seen anything, any scopes, any visions like what's on board now. So it's really good, and the people are happy about it. All of a sudden there's things happening on the island. We're starting to develop. All the survey work over the years, and even in the 60s and 70s, was done all for this whole area, over the mainland, Groote Island, all the archipelago, and Winchelsea was flagged as a location that had manganese on it. Because we're living on an island, the logistics are fairly difficult. Everything comes in via barge.
It's a big job and very expensive job, especially here on the island. And the only way we can bring goods on is by barge, or by freight, or by air. And this is one good example of it.
The challenge is, all logistics. So we're stuck by tides most of the time. Even that rock that's there, we had to drag that all the way from Cairns around Torres Strait across the Gulf. It's the cheapest way to do it.
The decision to mine Winchelsea was a difficult process. Of course, by instinct, Aboriginal people don't want to destroy land. It's themselves. It's like hurting yourself. However, the reality is for the children to be able to stand in both worlds. In order to have a sustainable economy, you have to have capital to do that. And for a small amount of pain, you have a much higher environmental, social, governance benefit for intergenerations to come.
Akan manjanga ya mikira ab kompa angur kwa ako miyak pira. Enen manjayang ketarpa ngakor lamuri kwaiwa na apa kwal ka skulwa. Imang kwale yang penyema inum kori mama mereka.
But we're trying to improve education here on the island, but building a boarding school over at Bickerton Island, where we can get our young ones in.
So instead of sending them away to a boarding school, our kids are here, just close to us. Our family are under kajama. Aku tanya sekolah lo papa ni, aku tanya aja. Aku cuma nama jago tagari kinyata. Kuri ke dil bakari nginjana menjangar pe. Papun kor bakar parauja kinyata.
We need to take control of our lives. We need to make decisions of how to live, how to run our lives. Next, how to establish our lives.
It's what we call an enabling project. So we don't want to mine particularly, but we need the revenue to do all these other things. We've already built extensive workers camps and service facilities. The
10 megawatt solar farms just around the corner. We've got more sustainable housing for the community across the island on track, and a complete marine development and a rebuild, and big future tourism plans. Importantly, the dollars from short-term mining will sustain many other community projects that are already in place, like the Eylandt Aqua Healing Centre, which is on track to reduce incarceration rates in the Darwin jail by 50%.
So to identify that resource and prove it, we have to do a huge amount of environmental work to see what's the consequence of that. But most importantly is the identification of any sites of cultural significance and of spiritual importance. They will never be disrupted. Never. Impossible.
Well, what money coming in, flowing in through royalties? It is the easy way out for countrymen to get money.
And then Rhode Island, now we are kanama, alangachare, ending up history. Be irlangwa, one harak pakia, urarma, now ura campilium the alaqua, and manjanga. Kempa, one makacha, nalakan manjanga lupa, yankurangwa, urakana no queen mam takachika. Be 60 years, Marwarupa, Kempa ngakurwa, Marware campiliama, and mancha royalty. Akanlang mining, Nayamanam langwa.
But everything happened all at once. Prior to the mine coming onto the island, and people actually worked within each community and earned a living. But since the mine came in and started this royalty business, money started flowing in, and that's when it all stopped. Why work? Well, I can sit under a tree a couple of weeks and I'll get paid. But everything happened all at once.
I wouldn't want to put them away from their old customs. I think some of them are quite good, quite harmless to Christian living, if you like. We've tried not to influence them. Christianity is a positive religion. We've not gone around saying you mustn't do this, you mustn't do that, you mustn't do the other. And we've endeavoured to just simply present Christianity.
But if we're smart about the way we do this, we'll be able to build a system after mining which will give us a sustainable fish farm here.
He took a delegation of 80 business people, private sector people over to China. I was the only Aboriginal person on that delegation. And that's how I got this idea. Agriculture is the way to go now.
Narak pa, ako project naman. Ako yung kapiti naman. Anong makadaan ng katyunga, ako larkachiyata, armua ang ayan.
I'm Val Tepo. I'm the aquaculture manager for Groote Aqua Aboriginal Corporation here on Groote Island. We are in our algae lab. We're surrounded by amazing marine and aquatic diversity. So in terms of seaweed, microalgae, fish species, sea cucumber, the list goes on and on. People from Groote Eylandt, the aqua people, sea country people, you know, they live and breathe this environment. So we need to look at alternative strategy to keep the economy going, because at the moment the mine is the main driver, obviously. We've got one of the largest manganese mine in the world, and as for every mine, you know, they're digging stuff out of the ground. It's just a matter of time until that runs out. So aquaculture, linking the people back into the ocean, to that sea country, and utilizing this pristine environment and this amazing resource to grow sustainable, clean, healthy products, seafood products for export and local consumption is our mission. We want to help that transition from a mining economy towards a blue and circular economy.
For me to step up into what man the world is very, very difficult, alienated. That is something that I treasure. If they give you a responsibility, you want to honor that responsibility. Because once you become a leader, it's not a leader for yourself. You're a leader of the community. Community people rely on you as their leader. Come into the day, you are responsible to your community. That's what counts. That's what makes you a great leader.
Bye.